Buckle up for another episode of Ghost Phasers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Hey, I just thought I'd just come over and just wanted to show. I made you a cream pie.
Oh,
would you like to have some of my cream pie? Maybe you could come over and fix my jackhammer.
Yeah,
I have a jackhammer problem. I haven't jackhammered in my driveway for a while. Tell you what, if you come over and jackhammer me, I'll cream pie you.
Let's get into it.
Ghost Phasers! We're facing ghosts, when others will not, we're ghosts! Ghost Phasers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghost Phasers! We're facing nightmare, we're facing dread! Ghost Phasers! We're facing faceless, we're facing dead!
Welcome to Ghost Phasers. Today we're discussing Season 6, Episode number 4, Four Candid Bobbies.
Yeah. The pattern continues. Weekend at Forbies.
Weekend 4 Bobbies?
Yeah, they could have done it.
Yeah,
You
idiots.
idiots.
You fucking cowards.
Yeah.
I've really been enjoying calling people cowards this week.
Oh, yeah. You've been doing that a bunch on the other podcast Discord.
Yeah. It's just it's less like toxic than calling someone a pussy, but it's got the same result.
I don't know. The fact that you think that those two things mean the same thing.
Well, no, I think like societally.
Looks like we got problematic Richard hosting the show today. Today.
Weekend at Bobby's. Episode that I've been very excited to get to, but before we start talking about it, we have a review.
Hey, very nice.
We have a review on Facebook from Veronica Jones. Veronica Jones. That sounds like...
I was always a Veronica guy.
Huh?
Over Betty.
Oh,
Yeah. Archie.
That's the better choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Who cares about Betty?
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't kick
Betty's
Betty out of
bringing something to the table.
the cartoons.
But so's Dilbert. You don't tell me not to crank it to them.
More when I'm done with him, more like Filbert.
Jesus Christ. I can't. Sorry, this is such a tangent. Okay. I can't believe the insane alt-right turn that the creator of Dilbert has.
Really?
Oh my God. For years, he's been like, the thing that Antifa doesn't want you to know. Like, he's like, I've been canceled. I'm the most discriminated against.
Really?
Scott Adams is the most like alt-right piece of shit ever. And he's like, they canceled the Dilbert cartoon because they wanted to make room for black people.
Whoa.
Okay, man. Whoa.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Okay, Veronica says, I DoorDash and you two make my drive so much more enjoyable. Hey.
Oh.
Do you DoorDash?
Do I DoorDash? I am DoorDash.
They DoorDash to
I
me.
am the dash that doors.
I'm the one who knocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm constantly laughing. The thirst for Dean is so real. This is really coming up like every week.
DoorDash should have like a diamond medallion thing the way Delta does.
You get an extra...
While I'm thinking about it.
You get an extra small fry with every meal.
Yeah, there's like they come pick you up and bring you to the DoorDash lounge, and then you can eat there.
I mean, now it's just sounding like a great idea.
I got tons of these that are about being lazy and fat.
And I have to say, the crap y'all give Jared is hilarious.
Oh, poor guy. I mean, hey, but it's the summer of Sam, though.
Yeah.
By that, I mean the winter of my pitch a tent.
It's such a great line. I recently listened to Season 4, Episode 10, where you comment on how scary Uriel is and how it's because he's so calm. The only other show I have seen this done so effectively is the Originals' Elijah. I think the Originals is like a spinoff of the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is just as scary, if not more. So honestly, and I think you two would thirst over that cast as well. Please never stop delivering the comedy and thirst for Dean.
Oh, well, thank you. That's great.
Hell yeah.
The thing that's been stopping me from trying the Vampire Diaries is like,
the name.
I could justify Supernatural, I think, because of the heavy lore component
Yeah.
and like the meta text in that.
Yeah.
I think if the show was just the hot guys,
And I feel like that's
I think
the pitch.
I think I'd lose interest a little.
Yeah, I feel like that's
I
the
think
pitch.
I'd lose interest a little.
Yeah, heavy quotations.
Lose myself.
Yeah.
In trysts.
Is there a person named Trist?
Well, no, it's just
Oh,
I said
in
I'd
trysts.
lose
Oh,
interest.
yeah,
And then I said lose myself in trysts.
Trysts with
That was good wordplay, and you bungled my amazing wordplay.
Yeah, a thing you
I'll never forgive you, you coward.
yeah. All right. Let's talk about this episode.
Yeah.
It aired October 8th, 2010.
Okay.
It was written by Andrew Dabb and Daniel Laughlin
Nice.
and directed by Jensen Ackles.
Oh, right.
We've got a
Is
little-
this the first one that he directs?
We've got a little feature to watch.
A feature?
That's right.
Ooh. That's fun. I like that.
Wasn't that fun? So that's on the DVDs as well.
It's there's a couple of things that jumped out that I wanted to mention in there. I mean, one, I love that like Mark Shepard also seems like he's taking a dig at Jared.
Oh my god, yeah. It'd be nice.
Like to see him direct it next. Like that's very funny. Two, it's funny that they're like this far in and now only one of them is stepping into. I know it's not like a big ensemble cast, but a thing that like I'm a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
And the thing that like is so well known about TNG is like all of them at some point stepped in to direct.
Really?
Like, and like Patrick Stewart started directing episodes. That's where Jonathan Frakes started directing, and now he's like a TV director.
Yeah.
I think Spiner directed one.
Wow.
I think like they would all kind of hop in and do that. They'd get to like put their names in rotation for that, and they talk about that a lot. But and even on like The Flash or something, that like Tom Cavanaugh's directed a bunch of episodes, or Katie Lott's directed an episode. But like it's interesting to see that like a slightly different dynamic where it's like that line doesn't usually get crossed. Do we know how many more times Jensen directs?
I think he ends up doing like one a season after this. Typically.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
Well, and I mean, one of the things that he says in this episode is that it's easy because he's not really featured in this episode.
Yeah.
Like as much.
And maybe that's the ensemble thing with Star Trek is like you go like, well, this is a Data episode, so Picard can be mostly out so you could direct. Exactly. Or like, we're going to be over here with Geordi so Riker can.
Exactly.
Yeah, like maybe that's why it's a little easier for them or whatever.
I think that's a large part, but also like I don't know if these other actors have any interest in it. And I think I think when you're doing like long-term shows and you're seeing how it's done every single time, you can get the confidence to maybe want to step into that role.
Well, and you have the somewhat safety net of like the show at least. The show and how you've worked in that show.
Exactly. And I think it's slightly different than doing a movie where it's like, okay, this is like a week commitment rather than like 3 months.
Well, it's a week of shooting, probably. But there's like all the lead up time stuff. He's probably doing prep while shooting other episodes, which is probably its own challenge.
Yeah. But I think like also shows like
because they got a location scout, they got to do like
a lot of that stuff though. Like I think that it's such a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they can very easily just plug someone in for yeses and nos.
I guess the showrunner probably handles more of that than the director does, though, too.
Yeah, I think it's a combination, probably, right? Because the director's in charge of the sort of way it's going to look, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a combination of that. But I think like shows like these, I mean, Kevin Smith.
I mean, that is kind of why they say TV is a writer's medium as opposed to movies, right? Because they
writers
do
actually like on set.
They do kind of like plug directors in as opposed to like the director being like the genesis of all ideas and everything. Yeah.
I think that Kevin Smith talks about it a lot when he comes in and does like the Flash and Supergirl and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like I'm a basically just like a party planner. Like he's like I come in and I just like my whole job is just to make sure everybody is having a good time and like motivate everybody. Like the way that he takes it, he just like brings people food and like he's not really like because these people do.
You're not starting from scratch. They know how to set up shots.
Yeah,
there's certain angles they use. Like they know how to get coverage.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of just like giving thumbs up to ideas and maybe offering.
I guess it's just like those kind of rare, like those kind of special episodes that we talked. Some that we haven't gotten to yet that are like real standout episodes where you go like, oh, this episode is like told from X perspective.
Yeah.
That's when it's something a little different. But for the most part, they kind of have a system.
Exactly, right? So, but yeah, this is Jensen's first time directing.
Very cool.
But it's something he'll return to. I don't know if Jared does, actually. I don't know if he ever steps in.
Yeah, he did Bugs.
It's all his fault.
Yeah.
This episode was viewed by an estimated 2.84 million viewers.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Huge jump.
Look, Jensen's directing.
Yeah, I know.
Jensen's directing.
I wonder if they like promoted that.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a short little clip. They probably didn't run that on TV, but still.
Yeah. It's a huge jump for this.
Yeah, God. I mean, like that's as high as the season premiere.
Yeah. Well, we've got a promo, so maybe that gives us an idea.
All right. Hit me with the promo.
Hit me with your promo.
So Jensen directed. Watch this, you little cucks. That's not a bad promo.
I honestly,
I like the voiceover thing is stupid, but like the voice is dumb, but like that's not a bad promo.
Friday.
He's the one that helps them. Now he needs help.
I mean, also, who doesn't love Bobby? I mean,
we know Crowley's in there. We see a monster leap at him. It's a Bobby app. Like that's a good promo.
Yeah.
Season 6 has 2 good promos in 4 episodes.
It's not bad.
Possibly 3. I don't remember how I felt about all of them. But like for sure, 2 that we were like, these are good promos.
Yeah.
Man, it's a topsy-turvy world out there.
I know. I'm so curious to see.
Left is right, up is down, promos are good.
I'm so curious to see how we feel about this season at the end of this season.
I feel like we're going to like it more than we think we are.
I mean, the numbers won't lie. So, with that, let's talk about the title. Weekend at Bobby's.
Weekend at Bob 4.
Yeah. Week 4
at Bob 4. Cast. Yeah.
So yeah, it's Weekend at Bobby's, which is a play on the 1989 dark comedy Weekend at Bernie's. Have you seen that movie?
Of course, I've seen Weekend at Bernie's.
So if you don't know, for the young folks listening potentially, this is a movie where these 2 guys. What's the general concept? They go to their like uncle's house and he ends up being dead.
Yeah, they have to pretend basically that he's not dead.
I can't remember why they have to pretend he's not dead. But
something about is it about like inheritance or something?
Feels like such like a 1980s.
Here's
premise.
the thing I'll say. I sometimes confuse it with like a kind of independent Irish movie called Waking Ned Divine.
Oh my
that is
God.
very similar.
Is it?
Well, in that they have to
pretend a guy's dead. Oh yeah, that's right. They have to pretend
he
he's
wins
alive.
the lottery, and then they have to do something of like pretend he's not dead yet, so they can claim the lottery.
A great movie.
Waking Ned Divine is Weekend at Bernie's and Waking Ned Divine couldn't be more different for essentially having a similar.
Yeah, Waking Ned Divine
conceit.
is like artfully made.
Oh, and it's like a cute, like quirky, like film festival kind of movie. Weekend at Bernie's is like
a slapstick
comedy. Like they're not the same movie, but I always get bits of them confused.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So it's based off of that title. Nothing to do with that, but
it has nothing to do with
No. We've got 3 titles.
All right. Okay. 3 international titles.
That's right. We're starting with the French title.
Oh, okay. It's Time for My Soul.
No, they focus on like they focused on this episode.
Oh, do they call it Okami? Oh, come here.
Close, but wrong one.
Oh, Lamia?
Like it's just called the Lamia.
Like an off-screen kill. An off-screen monster. That's oh God, I love you, France. That is grade A trolling.
We do not like this title. It is lower humor. We do not like it, so we are just going to ignore it.
Call it the Lamia.
Yeah, Lamia. I am not giving credence to this joke about a weekend at
Nor
Bernie's.
am I giving Clearwater Revival.
I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I said credence. It's my fault. All right, the next one, the German title.
If you burn the bones, the demon dies.
No, the German title is
Where you're buried.
Always Trouble with Bobby.
Oh, it's always trouble with Bobby. That scamp. That's such like a coy title for Germany.
I know. It's very like, oh, it's always trouble.
Whoever says that we can't be playful.
We do have an upcoming review or a note from a hunter.
Yeah.
That does show the humor of Germany. I'm very excited to get to one day.
Interesting.
It's coming up probably in a few episodes, but I'm very excited.
What is funnier than the hindsight to see your mistakes?
Good thing we have no reason to do so.
Oh, Germany.
Final title.
Okay, Hungary.
Of course.
Hungary's is like demon time.
You're not far, actually.
Am I?
What if you mixed?
Is it called Soul Plane?
No, I mean that's holy shit. Soul Plane. What if you mix the two titles together? The idea that you have with the current title.
Oh, a Demon at Bobby's?
It's Demonic Weekend.
Demonic Weekend. Yeah. I liked their second album best.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the spin-off band for Vampire Weekend.
Yeah, but they change all the words to be about demons.
Yeah. You know Vampire Weekend's not about vampires, right?
Yeah. But we still change all the words to be about demons. We're Demonic Weekend.
All right. Those are the international.
Shit, is Vampire Weekend not about vampires?
We gotta talk, man.
Fuck. Thought it was like when those one-hit wonders from the 80s, like the band name and their number one song have like...
Sure. Yeah.
Here's Popcorn by Hot Butter.
Yeah. I do love that.
Yeah.
So I have a bit of an oopsies.
Oh, okay. You did the notes for episode 5.
No. Is that the one we're talking about?
Oh, no.
Oops. I did a U last episode.
Yeah, it's not week 5 at Bobby's.
Yeah. You idiot. So, the featured music.
Okay.
Last week I said that the soundtrack was The Gambler.
Yeah, it's not. It's
not.
this
That's
week.
this week. Yeah. There was no featured
But also
song.
last week I was so sleepy that I was like, yep.
You're wondering why the last week's episode sucked.
Because I was listening to... it's funny that you say it, because I was listening to it and I was like, man, 2 weeks in a row?
No, it's that was an oopsies on my fault. So it's The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Anyways, TV
I'm really
guide.
sorry to have
What?
broken all of your trust.
Tarnished the spotless record this podcast has.
Our perfect record. We had a perfect game going.
Yeah, until I stepped in and fumbled the ball. TV Guide describes this episode as.
Sure.
Bobby
Lamia.
Yeah. Bobby tries to get Crowley to return his soul, but when Crowley refuses, Bobby takes matters into his own hands. Jensen Ackles directed the episode.
Hell yeah.
I like that it's just tagged on at the end. Jensen Ackles directed the episode.
Love it.
So
I mean, I guess it is a bit of a hook.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to...
Yeah.
The hot guy directed the hot show.
Yeah, you're not going to see that much of him. Tune in.
Oh, my God. Yeah, only just hot shots of Bobby.
Yeah.
But before we talk about what? Huh?
No, let's talk about hot shots.
Uh-huh.
Never mind.
Huh?
Do you remember that thing from work?
I forgot about it. Take hot shots down the throat. All right. Before getting into our thoughts on today's episode, let's open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real-world lore on the Lamia.
Yeah, let's see what the lore says about... Wait.
What?
This just in.
What?
Okami.
Did you really do Okami?
Yeah, baby.
Motherfucker!
Why would I do Lamia? We already talked about a Lamia before. Because it's connected to the woman in white and stuff like that. We've talked about Lamia before.
Okay.
If you'd been paying attention.
What? What'd you say?
Yeah, let's talk about Okami. Why would it be the Lamia? It's an off-screen monster.
I don't know. That's because the episode's called the Lamia.
There's an actual Okami fight in this episode.
You're right.
Yeah.
I've got to do some work.
Wow. Did you just say that it was a Lamia the whole time?
What?
Have you just forgotten that
Did
you watch this episode?
I was watching it when you came in.
I mean, it was on.
No, I just made notes for Okami. But I'm stopping it. You're fine. You're doing it now. I didn't do it 2 episodes ago. You're fine. Just do the
Even
lore.
if I didn't do it, you got to trust that there's a plan here, man.
Look, I'm not going to check in with you on what your lore is. I like
you
to be
wouldn't
surprised.
check in anyway. You never do.
God, who's got the time?
You know what? Let's work through this right now.
This is good podcasting, right?
Yeah, let's hash out our shit. Okami.
All the faithful, joyful,
Yeah.
and triumphant.
Yeah.
Okami, all ye
faithfully. And Okami is actually
cool.
a sort of an umbrella term, but it's mostly used as kind of an abbreviation of Kura Okami, which is a Shinto god. It's a dragon god of good luck and power, but specifically about like rain and storms and snow and winter. Kura Okami is a great dragon who is born from... Well, okay, here's the thing. The Shinto mythology, there are kind of like 2 main texts for it, and they are very different from each other.
Yes.
So there's the Kojiki, and there's the Nihon Shoki, and they have like totally different names for beings, different origins. So it can be difficult to actually piece together what the corresponding pieces are between them. So there'll be a little back and forth here.
Okay.
So in the Kojiki, the Kura Okami is born from the blood of the fire deity Kagutsuchi, which dripped off the hilt of the sword that killed it. So there are these 2 deities that form the Japanese islands, basically. And then they have an offspring, the Kagutsuchi, which is like a fire god.
Okay.
And when it is born, it like incinerates and kills the mother god. The father god gets so pissed that he kills it or stabs it.
DC stuff again.
Well, really,
Yeah.
It stabs it, and then from that blood in the Kojiki, a bunch of lesser deities are created, including the Kura Okami.
Okay.
In the Nihon Shoki, the other version, instead of it being the blood, it's that the Kagutsuchi gets cut in 3, and those 3 pieces form lesser dragon deities, and one of them is essentially the Kura Okami. So those are 2 like very different versions of the same thing, but essentially the idea is that it's born of that being.
Sure.
But it's a water being. Like the word Okami itself essentially means rain dragon. Kura means dark.
Okay.
So there's an implication that maybe the point of these things is to like oppose the power of like fire, that they have like water and snow as their domain and that.
Sure.
So Okami worship usually involved praying for rains, or vice versa. If you have too much rain and there's floods, praying for it to stop. So there's lots of Okami shrines in Japan still, which is sort of interesting. There's also like lesser local rain dragons that could be prayed to, but Kura Okami is kind of like the bigger umbrella one that a lot of like Shinto believers would pray to.
Okay.
So like there might be one like more specific to like your stream or like river or something.
Oh, okay.
But Kura Okami is like the dragon god of rain and snow. You know, so there were kind of like options there. Alternately, there is also worship of Taka Okami, which is a high rain spirit, which is said to be one of those other pieces of flesh. So if you're going with that version of things, it was like a different rain dragon, essentially. So dragons in general were believed to be temperamental, like the weather, and therefore needed appeasing through sacrifice. So in one tale that I found, an emperor would dedicate a black horse in times of drought, they'd sacrifice a black horse, and in times of like rain or flood, they'd sacrifice a white horse.
Oh no, that's where we are.
Oh my God. You can't always sacrifice a whole horse because horses are important. So they're
just like cut off like a hoof.
Well, they had these things called ima that were basically like votives, like plates with horse paintings on them. So that would become the offering. You'd bring this like decorative plate. Basically.
If I was a god, I'd be like, "Are you fucking?"
I already have like 3 of these.
Are you fucking kidding me? You think that this is the same as an entire horse?
Yeah.
Look, I know you really wanted
your fucking crate and barrel bullshit you're bringing me.
Yeah, I know you wanted an entire turkey dinner, but what about this Instagram photo of a turkey dinner? Does this satiate you?
Do you know what? Like NFTs are actually like pretty interesting if you think about it.
If anything, this is more valuable.
Yeah. They would bring horse NFTs.
I mean, kind of.
But this is incontrovertible proof that you own it.
Yeah, if anything.
Yeah, you don't have the horse, but you have the ownership of it.
You know, if you think about it, like art is the original NFT.
Yeah, it's good when it's exclusive and bad.
Yeah. So you know, like a piece of like an image that can't be replicated.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like art?
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean like physical media?
Yeah, but this one's like a bored horse.
Yeah, and it's online.
Yeah, and he's like wearing sunglasses.
Oh, never mind. Say no more. You put that man in an outfit and suddenly you got BoJack Horseman.
The idea of calling these like spiritual votives, calling them NFTs is so funny. It's so disrespectful. It's good Lord. Some of you listening, if you're real nerds or video gamers or things like that, you're probably saying, hang on now, isn't an Okami a wolf?
Yes.
And there is a little bit of confusion about that, but here's a fun fact. In Japanese, there are like different intonations that can change the same essentially word to mean something different.
Okay.
There is I can't pronounce it, but there's Okami, which is the rain dragon, the deity. And then there's a different sort of intonation of the word Okami, which was essentially like a subspecies of gray wolf.
Yeah.
And that thing got kind of blended with a sort of fictionalized Japanese mythology in like a video game. There was like a PS2 game.
Really?
I think called Okami, where like you're like there's like a Japanese wolf kind of god kind of thing. And when you just type in Okami and go to look it up, there's a lot of pages dedicated to like wolves and stuff like that. And it's mostly people riffing on that.
So that must be,
because Okami was the name of a type of wolf, but then there's also this layer of like a fictionalized mythological narrative for that. But that is not what the Okami myth of Japan is.
So clearly, the version that we're getting in this show is that version.
I mean, I would say probably just on the teeth front in that, but also spoilers, we get different dragons later in the show.
Yep.
They're not vastly different.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it could be either. I suspect you're right that it's more wolf adjacent, because that's certainly the characterization of it. But
well, I got some information about that wolf.
Sure, go for it.
So this werewolf-like creature, though harder to kill than a typical werewolf, lore says that they can regenerate from almost any kind of wound. The only way to kill them, as we see in the show, is to be stabbed in the heart 7 times.
Sure.
With a bamboo dagger blessed by a Shinto priest. This explains why they burn the body instead of just why they buried the body instead of just burning it. But as we've talked about already here, this one intonation of Okami means Japanese wolf, which became extinct in 1905.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that breed of wolf doesn't exist anymore.
But also, these wolves are likely the origins for the myth surrounding the Okami, just as the North American timber wolf is likely the origin for the myth surrounding werewolves.
Yeah.
Though there's very little real-life lore about this wolf combined Okami thing, because it's a blend of two different
because it's
lores.
like not a
yes.
That was I was like looking it up, and I was like,
hold on.
I always pull up like multiple kind of sites or whatever, and I was like, why are some of these about wolves and some of these are about dragons? Yeah.
So, very confusing
Never the
lore.
twain shall meet.
Until we get a wolf dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's the next album from Demonic Weekend.
So, Okami.
There you go, baby.
Holy shit. Well, with that, why don't we get into today's episode?
Let's do it.
I mean, the behind the scenes is Jensen's directing.
Love it.
So, then. We got Bobby selling his soul. We get shots of Rufus, baby.
Yeah.
We get the fucking smoke show of this show. Sheriff Jody Mills.
God, I love her.
Jesus Christ. Maybe more in this episode even. I'm like...
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's...
And there's something up with Sam.
Yep. We got to talk about Kev Sam.
Getting into the now. We flash back 1 year ago.
Yeah, the now is 1 year ago.
Yeah. So, immediately, I've got a note to make.
Okay.
So, the episode starts with a newscast in the background.
Yeah.
It's the very first shot. And
Yeah.
there's a voiceover. You know who that voiceover is?
No.
That's one Mr. Alan Ackles.
Oh, his dad?
That's Jensen Ackles' father.
Oh, that's fun.
Who has an
That's cute.
uncredited part as the voice of the newscaster heard on Bobby's TV.
That's fun.
Jensen Ackles had seen the part on the script and thought his dad could do it. The part was recorded over the phone as Alan Ackles sat in the studio in his house in Texas in his bathrobe sipping his coffee.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. I'm a big fan of like throwing your folks into things that you're doing.
I always love that. That's always a fun thing.
I put my dad in 2 plays I directed back in the day.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, your dad has a lot of gravitas too.
He does, but he also is, he's not an actor or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So good. So as the apocalypse ends, Bobby is at home preparing a ritual to summon Crowley.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing the old, blood in a bowl, all that.
Yeah. You know, where it's his old hat for us at this point.
Yeah, for us.
Yes. Crowley arrives to note that Sam made the ultimate sacrifice and saved the world.
Yeah, I like I love the way Crowley talks in general, but he goes like, that swan dive of his was really great, all tens, even from the Bulgarian judge, or like whatever he says.
Yes. Very fun.
It's very cute, yeah.
Bobby asks for his soul back per their deal.
Yeah.
But Crowley tells him that per their contract, he only has to make best efforts to return the soul.
I do like Crowley here too, where he's like, I can't.
Yeah, but I can't. But I can't.
I like also that he's like, you didn't read the fine print, and he like kind of turns his hands, and then the contract like kind of etches itself into Bobby,
skin, yeah.
like Harry Potter style. The I must not tell lies kind of thing.
From that bitch Umbridge.
Yeah. That's a different podcast.
I know, but I can still hate her.
Yeah.
He says that Bobby has 10 years until he's summoned. And Bobby reveals that he's trapped Crowley in a hidden devil's trap.
Yeah, it was just like a glow-in-the-dark one. And then Crowley's like, I hope that's paint.
Yeah. Oh, well, because Bobby says...
Bobby spent weeks coming onto the floor.
Well, he does make that comment because Bobby says to Crowley, I'm going to dateline your ass before he reveals the glow-in-the-dark devil's trap. That's because on Dateline, the NBC show in 1992, it was known to feature hidden camera sting operations for sex offenders, like catching them and con men. Crowley's
that was where To Catch a Predator started, wasn't it?
Yeah. Crowley's reply, I hope that's not paint, may refer to the fact that human sperm glows under UV light.
Yeah.
So
what do you mean
funny.
may refer? That's the only thing it could refer to.
So
this is a subtle reference to how cum glows.
Cum goes when cum glows. So
we got a musical on our hands.
I think so. I mean, yeah, it's not the first time on this podcast we've had that. However, Crowley has brought a little friend.
Brought a
fucking hellhound. He whistles, and suddenly the hellhound breathes into Bobby's face. It makes like he's gonna retch.
Yeah.
It's a really good one. And he says he'll have it kill Bobby if he doesn't release him.
Yeah. So Bobby's pissed. He thought he had the upper hand, and
yes,
didn't.
But he says that this isn't over, and Crowley's like, I hope not. Like, Crowley likes the game.
Yeah.
He's like, he even says happy hunting.
Yeah, it's funny, like he's obviously being a dick. He's keeping Bobby's soul. That stuff's bad, but like Another demon would be like, "You fuck with me again, I'll rip you to shreds."
Yeah,
Crowley's just like, "See you around."
Yeah,
You know,
he's just like,
I got
"This is
better
fun."
things to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you, but it's just because like, what? Who cares?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I do enjoy that.
We now go to the present.
Yes.
Of the now.
Yeah.
So
present.
Yes. Ooh, a gift. So in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Dean and Sam examine a body at a playground with its chest cracked open, and they find a claw.
Yeah, and they're like on the phone with Bobby. They're like, "We don't know what this is."
Well, Bobby doesn't even answer at first. Bobby like eventually picks up.
Yeah, and then they send a picture to the oldest computer ever seen. The image even comes in like
so good. They explain that that
computer's running Windows 95. I think
God.
It looked like
it was a very good year.
Yeah.
They explain that there have been 6 bodies recently, and they ask if he can identify the claw.
Yeah, he's like, "All right, I'll work on
it." When Dean calls Bobby, the caller ID shows the name as John P. Jones.
Yeah,
John Paul Jones was a member of Led Zeppelin, Dean's favorite band.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. Also, one of Bobby's...
It's not a Detective John Jones reference, the Martian Manhunter?
I don't think so, but ironically that you say that, because one of Bobby's phones is marked with the name Frank Castle.
Oh, that's fun. Punisher.
From Marvel. So there is a comic book reference in there.
That's fun.
Bobby insists that he's busy, but eventually agrees to do the research.
Yeah.
When he doesn't have any luck with his own books, he drives into town and goes to the library. The doors are locked, so he breaks through the window.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you start looking at, I remember a previous episode, there was like a comment that like Bobby is seen in this town as like the town drunk.
Which was so funny because we normally only see him at his place. And
like
you're like, he's got to live somewhere.
Yeah.
And the idea of like the other eyes on him, because he's in Sioux Falls, right?
Yes.
So the idea of the other eyes on him, it's like, oh man, there goes Bobby breaking into the library again.
This is the thing that this show does so well.
I love that.
Which is like, it's like, hey, you know how they have like the guy in the chair? Well, what's that guy's life? And this
episode is so good at that too. Yeah.
They very much do that, where you like expect, like you always have these questions about shows, and now it's like this is the second or third time even that we've gotten to see like what Bobby's life is like.
Yeah.
So he breaks into the library and falls through the window and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the if you saw this, you'd be like, oh, this fucking the drunk's broken into the library. But he needs to steal the book that he needs. Then his car won't start when he gets outside, but eventually he gets home and confirms to Sam and Dean that they're hunting a lamia, a monster rarely seen outside of Greece.
I also love this idea too, that Bobby is like, that this can't be the first time that's had to happen.
He works all night,
but he never goes in the daytime to just take a book out of the library. Because he does kind of have that, like, fuck the government kind of, like, crazy thing. He's like, I'm not going to get a library card that can track it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He's got that kind of shit going on. So, like, every time he's like, God damn it. He has to get in his car, drive into town, break into the library, take a book, go home, go like, yeah, it's a lamia. And then he's like, I like the idea that like, maybe he's like, I should bring it back. And he, like, has to go break back in.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny to imagine, like, potentially how often he does. The library is like, why do people keep breaking in? They don't take anything. They don't notice like which book's gone, you know?
So funny because he clearly he worked all night long on this thing. And it's like, you never think about that when the guys call him, but it's like, oh yeah, like he's got a life and the guys are so ungrateful for the work that he does.
And he doesn't work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like they're hunting a monster. He's got to get on it, you know? But also, when we haven't seen it quite yet, I think, in the episode, but there's all these phones, and you realize he's not just doing that for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Bobby calls Dean with the information and tells them to kill it with a blessed silver knife. Dean immediately hangs up.
Well, he says there's 2 ways to do it. He says blessed silver knife, and he's about to say the second. Dean's like, all right. Yeah,
so funny.
Like, well, fucking, you're welcome.
So funny.
Yeah.
Then Bobby goes downstairs.
Yeah.
Where he has a demon captive and in a trap.
Yeah.
He demands to know Crowley's real name.
Yeah. Good looking demon.
I mean,
sorry.
You're not wrong. With the leg move. Yeah.
Well, yeah, she tries to do Basic Instinct
But this isn't like a rated R movie, so she sort of just like shifts her legs.
Well, yeah, because like, but they're not even like recreating the low angle or whatever. Even if you didn't like see anything, they're not recreating any of it, so it just looks like she's uncomfortable. She just changes her legs. Like it's very obvious that they were like, do the Sharon Stone, but like it doesn't read very well.
You catch that that's what they're going for, but it doesn't.
I know exactly that's what they're doing, but like it 100% doesn't play.
No. Also, I've read an article recently that Sharon Stone thing is really fucked up.
Oh yeah, deeply, extremely.
Yeah. But the demon taunts him about the fact that he had to kill his own wife.
Yeah. She's doing a lot of that, and Bobby goes and like picks up a sack and says, "Recognize this. This is yours."
Yes.
And she goes like, "That's a myth." And he goes, "Well, I guess we'll find out." And he burns it a bit, and then she starts burning.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, you better figure it out.
She warns that Crowley is the king, and he goes, yeah, I know the king of the Crossroads.
I've heard it.
She goes, no, king of hell.
Yeah.
And she can't go against
He's
him.
been making some moves since Lucifer went into the cage.
But before we can get any more information, the doorbell rings.
Yes. Yeah.
And Bobby goes upstairs. It's his new neighbor, who also is kind of a smoke show.
She is. Also not new. She's lived there for 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his neighbor, Marcy Ward.
I mean, listen. Bobby can pull.
Yeah.
I love that, like, she moves to town, lives next to the known drunken disorderly, and goes like, should I fuck him?
I mean,
should I fuck him?
Here's the thing,
though. Should I fuck Junkyard Jim?
Maybe she could change him.
Yeah, maybe. She's very sweet, but she's also like pretty forward.
I'd eat the fuck out of that peach cobbler.
Easy.
I said peach cobbler.
We know what you said.
I would.
It looked very good.
I'd go down on that peach cobbler.
Yeah, I'd muck that peach cobbler.
I junkyard Jim that peach cobbler.
Gave her the old junkyard.
I dateline that peach cobbler.
Jeez, no. Oh no.
Let's just say the UV light would be picking up some stuff in that peach cobbler.
Good Lord, American Cobbler. It's my favorite raunchy comedy.
But she hears a demon yelling in the background, and Bobby says that he's watching a horror movie.
And then she's like, I love horror movies. You ever see Drag Me to Hell? And he's like, I try to avoid that.
Which is funny. So, Dean and Sam are hunting the Lamia, which is the same creature in Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah. But also, Bobby's trying to avoid getting dragged to hell.
There's a double thing going on.
There's layers.
Yeah, this show's got layers.
Yeah.
Like that peach cobbler.
Like an onion. Oh, yeah, like a cobbler.
Yeah, that I want to get in. Marcy ends up inviting him over.
She's like, oh, my wood chipper doesn't work. Maybe you could come have a look. And he's like,
put a log in my wood chipper.
And he's like, I'll see if I can. And she's like, all right. And he's like, cool. And he like weirdly shakes her hand.
Well, here's the thing though, because like he does, like there is a very sweet moment where she's like, why don't we, like, I'll come over. She says she'll make a white chocolate popcorn. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this woman is the
I will say, in the span of like a minute and a half, she's said 2 food things that she is, quote, famous for.
I know.
My famous peach cobbler, and then I'll make my famous white chocolate popcorn.
And she had me. But there's a sweet moment where Bobby's just like, he's like genuinely like, that sounds amazing. And then he goes to be like, but, and she's like, don't even worry about it. Like the second she heard a but, she was like, but maybe you can come fix my wood chipper.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yes.
Once Marcy leaves, Bobby goes back downstairs.
But imagine her going into town and being like, I made a cobbler for Bobby, and they're like, Jesus.
Junkyard Jim.
That fucking guy. He gets arrested every 2 weeks.
You know what they say about the bad boys?
The mucking cobbler. More like gobbler.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Hell yeah. You alive?
It felt like I wasn't.
You passed out.
Did I? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was alive.
Jeez.
Is that? Does anybody else know what that's like?
Jesus Christ.
I felt like I wasn't. How long was it?
It was only a couple seconds.
Leave it in.
Literally, this is what you did. You went.
Oh, that's fine. That just looks like sleeping.
That's what death looks like.
Huh. I didn't hate it.
Stop riding the line.
Well, I'm just saying.
Jeez, this isn't Flatliners.
I'm not against it.
I can't be this worried about me and you.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine.
That's the problem.
Is this the first time I've passed out on Ghostfacers?
I think it is.
I've done it a bunch on Dr. DC.
A thing a normal person says.
A totally fine thing to say.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. Somehow I've continued this episode.
Yeah.
So it goes back down to continue torturing the demon for Crowley's name. And now Bobby's just like super serious about it and just like fully starts burning this bag.
Oh, yeah. I like this effect too of like how it's burning the demon.
Yeah.
Almost like from the inside out.
Yeah. The demon finally gives the name and tells him it's Fergus Macleod.
Yeah. It's like from Brave. It's the most fucking stereotypical Scottish name ever.
I mean,
what if we say he's from Scotland and he goes like Fergus Macleod?
Yeah. Of the Clan Macleod.
Yeah.
The one.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I am the
Yeah, and then Ramirez shows up.
Hell yeah.
Ramirez.
So good.
It's me, the Spaniard.
I can't. So she demands that Bobby then release her, but he tortures the contents, killing her.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up and really cool sequence.
Yeah, that's great. Later, we then cut to this is when Bobby's now living out the rest of his day and calling all of the other people.
Yeah, it's a cool little sequence. He's got all the phones on the wall. They're all labeled different. Like, this is the other thing. He couldn't have guests if he wanted to. Be like, why do you have a phone labeled FBI?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll take that peach cobbler back.
He also, this is the first time we hear the name Garth.
Yes, I clocked that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, Garth, you should like put a tip into the FBI. And then the FBI phone rings. He's like, no, the real FBI, Garth.
So funny.
It's a good little moment.
Great hint at future Garth episodes.
Yeah, I did clock that. I enjoyed that.
But yeah, this is showing like, this is like that thing he does for the boys. He does for like many hunters.
Yeah, he's like low rent Oracle.
Kind
if you
of,
read comic books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rufus then shows up to ask Bobby to help bury a body.
Yeah, I really like Rufus's energy in this episode.
Yes.
I feel like the last time we saw Rufus was very much that kind of like,
I'm out of the game.
I'm out of the game and fuck you. And like, because I said so, that's why. And all that kind of shit. And like, it was that, and it was like the town where war was, right?
Yeah.
And it was like all pretty intense. And this Rufus is like a little sloppy.
Yeah.
And I kind of love the energy he's got. It's like really fun that he's like, hey, Bobby, I kind of need a favor. And he's it's like,
yeah. The law is after him, and he's like, Bobby's like,
well, he's not at that point.
Well, no, he says that like that's why he's here.
Yes, but they're not like actively chasing him. That's later.
Yes,
but yeah, he's like, I need you to help me bury a body,
and we find out that it's an Okami, a Japanese monster. And Bobby notes that Sam and Dean are after a Greek lamia, and I love there's this great moment because he's just like, the lamia's here, the Japanese monsters here. He's like, what monsters, eh?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, Bobby looks right down the barrel. It's like, monsters this season, am I right? And,
I kind of love that moment, though. Yeah. It's kind of like, geez, like what? Like people I get, but like monsters.
I'm sure this won't come up.
So funny.
Yeah.
They proceed to bury the body and discuss Crowley. Bobby says that he's off to Scotland where Crowley lived and died as a human. Rufus offers to make
he's
a
got like
calls.
a hunch that he can figure out like where he was.
There's a great moment.
And part of it is that when Crowley had first shown up, they have a discussion about like whiskey, and Bobby drinks gut rot, but like he likes like a 30-year-old Craig.
Yes.
And then Rufus is like,
so good.
Rufus is like, well, they only make Craig in this like place or whatever, and he's like, what? I'm a man of tastes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not uncultured.
I do love Rufus in this episode.
So
he's
good.
very fun.
But Rufus offers to make a few calls to his contacts.
Yeah.
And Bobby's just like, I didn't ask for your help. And he's just like, I didn't like, it's like, I didn't ask if I could help you. Like,
yeah.
So good. I love their energy. I would watch a Drumper Old Men with the two of them.
100%.
So good.
Yeah.
Back inside, Bobby gets a call from Dean, who needs help because their plan to get a priest to bless their silver knife hasn't really worked out.
I love the way Sam and Dean are in this episode where he calls it you see in the back Sam like, what?
So
like
funny.
They're like fighting.
It's so good.
It's a really, really well played. It's very, very funny. And Bobby's like, I'm kind of busy. He's like, what?
He's like, we're sort of in the middle of this thing. He's like, well, what happened to the priest? And the monster had already gotten to the priest.
Yeah. So,
as this is happening, an FBI agent shows up.
And so he answers the door. It's an FBI agent and Jody.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's my mom. Bobby's like, it's my mom on the phone. And he has to be like, get salt and rosemary, mix the herbs, saute on high heat. And then you cut to Dean like tossing stuff and using a flamethrower. This is what I mean. It's an off-screen Lamia kill.
Good.
The fact that the French title of this episode is the Lamia.
It's
is
so good.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, enjoy the roast, Mom. And he puts the phone down.
I fucking love this.
It's a very, very well done little sequence of shots.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like the like speaking in code sort of thing, but it also shows that like it's probably not the first time someone's been caught on the have to like you it's that thing that we talk about every season. They're better at the job.
1,000%.
And this is a good kind of sequence of that, is seeing how good they are with that like kind of weird wrench thrown in.
Yeah. So this FBI agent, Adams, arrives at the door with Sheriff Mills. Jesus Christ, looks so fucking good.
She looked great.
Bobby asks
I love you.
them to wait. Yeah.
Sorry.
And Bobby talks Dean through the killing the Lamia, and they ask if Bobby has seen Rufus, the FBI agent asks.
And Bobby says, no, I've never seen that dick.
Yeah, and they're like, weird, you seem like you know him. And
he's like, I guess.
No, he just seems like a dick.
Yeah.
Which I love this. So like, I just don't even care. And Adams asks if he can take a look around, and Bobby says, do you have a warrant to do that? And he says, do I need a warrant? And that's when Mills comes in and goes, hey, I've been arresting this fucking idiot for years.
Yeah. Well, she says like, let's put the rulers away, zip them up, boys.
So good. And I was like, not around you. I can't.
Easy.
Mills asks,
how dare you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to sully her name.
Wow. Good Lord.
Mills asks Adam to go outside because she's like, look,
let me handle this.
Yeah, I know. I'll look around for you. And as the guy goes outside, Bobby's like, what are you doing? And she's like,
I thought you wouldn't want him in here. He's like, well, yeah, I don't want him in here. I have a body in the basement.
He's like, but I also don't want him out there.
I've got a body out there. And she's like, God damn it, Bobby.
So funny. Mills knows all about it, and Bobby says that he's just buried one outside. So they curse and check outside and discover that Adams went exploring on his own.
Yeah, and he's like, come over here, and they go over to where they buried the Okami, and now it's like a hole
with like black
again with like
something.
And he's like, what happened here? And Bobby's like, septic tank. Watch where you step.
Yes.
But then Bobby has to, after they leave, he has to get on the phone and be like, Rufus, did you kill the Okami? And he's like, I'm not an idiot, Bobby. And Bobby walks through all the things.
Did you use the bamboo knife?
He's like, I used the bamboo knife. Yeah, I was blessed by a Shinto priest. Did you stab it 7 times? 5 times. It's 7. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's 5 because that's what I did.
And it's like, pretty sure it's 7 since it's still alive.
Yeah, it's not in the hole anymore.
Yeah. And
it's a good moment.
Rufus tells Bobby that it feeds on single white females, and Bobby immediately is just like, fuck.
Yeah.
That hottie Marcy.
Rufus right now, as he's calling, is
2 states over.
Is on the way to. Is he?
He's
on
driving
the way
away.
But is he on the way to the thing yet?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question.
He might not be, but yeah, he's 2 states away.
Marcy, we then cut to her preparing for night.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Bobby bursts in.
Yeah, with a shotgun. And she's like, and he's like, where's your bedroom? And she's like, this way.
Yeah, she's like, wait, is this the thing I wanted? Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
He goes to the bedroom.
He goes in, he's like, have you seen anything weird? And she's like, other than you.
So good. And then suddenly she looks up and starts screaming, and we realize that the Okami is in the ceiling. Leaps, throwing Bobby.
like the Grudge style. It's really good. Yeah.
It leaps down, throwing Bobby out the window.
Yep.
And manages to go after him.
Yeah, and they're fighting out in the yard, and she's screaming, and
She throws him into the Okami throws Bobby into the wood chipper. Well, it smashes him against
the wood chipper.
To turn it on.
He turns it on. They're fighting, and they're kind of like leaning in, and you go.
And it looks like the Bobby's gonna go in the wood chipper,
and then Bobby kind of gets out, throws the Okami through. The thing is, you see a shot of the thing spraying.
Yes,
and we see it splatter on Bobby, and then he goes, "I thought your wood chipper didn't work." And then we swing around, and
she's covered in blood.
Now, I wanted to mention something here because of that feature thing that we watched.
Yeah.
They were doing a shot of her getting sprayed with blood.
Yeah.
But we don't get that shot in the episode.
No.
Which means it didn't pan out.
Yeah. That's true.
Because there's no reason for her to have to stand there and have the makeup applied that way.
Yes, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they were trying to shoot but it didn't make it into the episode, so something didn't work out with that shot. And I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
In the feature to be like, oh, there's a little...
Yeah, a little thing that ended up getting cut. Maybe for time, maybe for...
Because I did notice watching the episode that I was like, why are they playing it as a surprise? She very obviously is going to be covered in blood.
Yeah.
But it's like, but why wouldn't you show the... Like, that's the classic Supernatural thing. So something went wrong or whatever, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, or it's for time.
I wouldn't... I don't know that I would have cut that, though.
I mean, I always think about, like, when they...
There's all these shots just of the machine. I would have cut those...
Sure.
And kept the spray on.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Maybe it didn't work out. Yeah.
But
Bobby,
I just thought it was kind of interesting with the two.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The
I didn't even think about that. Bobby offers then to come for dinner, and she's like, "I don't think that's a good idea."
Yeah, and he's like, "Story of my life."
So funny. I do love the explanation after, which is like, "Okay, monsters exist. That was an Okami."
Yeah. That was an Okami, so call me.
Yeah. Do you want me to Okami in your peach cobbler?
Jesus. Do you want me to Okami in the... What the fuck, man?
The next day, Bobby calls Rufus to tell him what happened. Rufus thanks him for bailing him out. He tells Bobby that he's confirmed that Crowley was Fergus Roderick Macleod.
Yeah, and then...
Born in Cannas Bay, Scotland, 1661.
And then he finds out that he had a son who was on a ship that, sank off the coast of the New World or whatever. And that son had a ring, and that ring is in a museum
found by divers,
Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, in a naval museum in Andover.
Yeah.
So, fun information. The character Gavin Macleod is named after actor Gavin Macleod. Among his many roles in TV and movie, Macleod is best known for Murray Slaughter in The Mary Tyler Moore Show from 1970 and Captain Stubbing in The Love Boat.
Oh, fun.
The reason why it's important to mention that is because Gavin Macleod was a passenger on the ship that went down and was lost at sea. This is also a reference to The Love Boat.
Yeah,
so,
interesting.
Fun. So
Macleod.
Well, the clean Macleod. Bobby reluctantly asks him, Rufus, to help get this ring.
Yeah.
Rufus agrees and figures that Bobby plans to exchange it, the ghost Gavin, for his soul.
Yeah. And Bobby's like, something like that.
Yeah. That night, Bobby gets a call from Dean. Dean assures him that they killed the Lamia, but tells him that Sam is different.
Dean's like something about Sam. I kind of like the deconstruction of this moment, too, where it's like, something about Sam. And then Bobby's like, I have another call.
Which is also like,
he hangs up and talks to him.
Realize that this is a conversation that maybe happened when Sam was drinking blood and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't the first time that Bobby's had to deal with the
Bobby's like, I got another call on another line. Dean's like, what? And then Bobby kind of switches over.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the great shot of Rufus driving. You see sirens and flashing lights and stuff like that. And he's like, so good news, got the ring. Rufus in this episode is such chaotic energy.
I fucking love it.
It's
Rufus swallows the ring.
Yeah, Bobby's like, whatever you do, don't swallow it. He's like, I'll swallow it.
Before the police pull him over.
And then you, as Bobby is putting the phone down, you hear him be like, this is unconstitutional. No, you can't. It's man.
Oof. Yeah.
Rufus he gets away with it here because that could be a lot worse.
Yes. Bobby then gets back to Dean, who insists that Bobby is the only person he can talk to.
Yeah. And then Bobby's like, this just isn't a good time. And Dean's like, you're being so selfish right now or whatever. And then Bobby's just like, is Sam there? He's like, get him. And then Sam comes in, they put him on speakerphone, and Bobby rips into them. He's like, you piece of
You're
shit.
the whiniest son of a bitch.
I love you motherfuckers. You call me selfish? You fucking whiners with your little bitch sessions about each other. Blah, blah, blah. I need something. You're going to fucking help me, okay?
And Sam's like, Bobby, if you needed help, you could just ask.
Which is kind of gaslighty.
Yes.
That's fucked up, Sam.
Yeah. I mean, we know why. But Dean's like, anything you need.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Cum gutter Sam. A little bit gaslighty.
Look, you look like that. You can get away with a lot.
Apparently.
But we then cut to the next day, and Bobby meeting with Sheriff Mills and asks her to get Rufus extradition for murder.
Yeah. She's like, what the fuck? I'm going to lose my job trying to do this.
She warns him that it will take out every favor she's got and that Rufus will still be in jail for murder.
Yeah.
Bobby says he'll handle it, but reminds her that he's done a lot for this town.
Yeah.
Admits that it's like some of this is stuff some of this is stuff that you don't know.
Yeah.
He admits that he's not good at asking for help, and Mills tells him that she can't.
She's like, I want to, but this is too much. I can't.
That night, Bobby is at home when Mills shows up with Rufus.
Yeah, and she's like, don't ask how I did it. Just
it's done.
Yeah.
She tells him that he's got 1 hour to let Rufus escape.
Yeah.
Once she leaves, Rufus produces the ring from his pocket. Bobby's like,
I'll boil some water.
Yeah. He's like, tell me you're still in your stomach. And he goes, those right here. Yeah. Then he goes to go boil some water. Bobby prepares a ritual circle around Gavin's ring.
Yeah.
It's a cool effect, too.
It is.
Because you actually see the ring float up in the air.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing that they usually do in ritual-y stuff on this show.
No, it's true. I mean, at this point in the show, all of them are essentially dabbling in witchcraft. You know what I mean?
Yes.
With all these rituals and
runes
and stuff like that.
And produces the spirit of Gavin, which is a cool-looking actor. It seems like he fits the role.
Yeah, looks good.
He tells him that they're gonna have a chat because he's like, "Are you Fergus McLeod's boy?" And he's like, "Yep." And he's like, "Let's have a little conversation."
Yeah.
Later, Bobby then goes and summons Crowley.
Yeah, and Crowley shows up.
He's in a devil's trap.
Yeah, and he goes, we know how this is gonna go. You asked for that. He's like, I'll do the Coles Notes version. Hey, give me my soul back. No, can't do that, love.
Gosh darn it, and some other.
Yeah, but I got a beard. And
it's so funny. It's such a good moment.
It's really good. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
He tells him that being the ruler of hell isn't as cracked up as you'd think.
Yeah, he says the problem with hell is all the demons. You try and show them a better way. All these liars and deceivers.
They don't want a better way.
Just trying to get something done down there.
Yeah. Crowley admits that Lucifer's plan to destroy the demons might have been a good idea. He then tells Bobby that he won't be getting his soul back. And then Bobby summons Gavin.
Yeah. And I do like this bit too, where Crowley's like, "My boy, I'm so sorry." Oh no, just kidding with you. I hate him.
Yeah, and Bobby is welcome to torture him.
Yeah,
and in response, Bobby explains that he used the ghost to get dirt on Crowley.
Yeah,
and Gavin was glad to oblige.
Yeah, and he goes, for example, I know where you're laid up. That he tosses Crowley a phone.
Yeah,
and Sam and Dean are in Scotland.
Yeah,
at Crowley's grave.
Yep.
Crowley's like the burning bones thing's a myth. He goes, I don't know. I got a body in the basement that says otherwise.
They've dug up his bones and are ready to burn.
And Bobby basically just says, "My soul for your bones now." And Crowley goes like, fair dinkum,
So you got me.
Yeah.
You tricked me.
And Bobby's very careful to say, you could leave in the bit about me keeping my legs, so.
It's
a good moment.
I love this moment. Because
out-demoning a demon kind of thing.
And of all of them.
Fighting dirty and doing that kind of thing.
Crowley's also a man of his word.
Yeah. he respects like the rules.
Yes, exactly.
Know?
Which
he's a businessman. He's
I love,
and I think he
that
respects
so much.
getting out hustled. Like there's a part of him that's like, that's not bad. I'm into that. Yeah.
It's also a thing where it's a reminder that like demons are ghosts.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, they're spirits.
Yeah. Like
they're corrupted souls, which is basically what a spirit
exactly
is. Yeah.
Right. And so like through that corruption, they get maybe some more abilities and they have a bit more freedom. But at the end of the day, like they are just souls.
Yeah.
And so like this show just, I mean, because they kind of play coy about it in the beginning because we don't know what's in that bag. Like we're not really getting a lot of information. And so now to be like, oh, it's bones. Well, we've salt and burned bones before. Oh, okay.
There's a lingering question about it though. Because he didn't exorcise that demon that he burned the bones of.
No.
He killed them.
Yeah.
Like their soul is burnt up.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
But every hunter that dies, they burn the bones.
Yeah, because they don't want them to become demons or
right.
something.
But if you burn the bones, then doesn't that mean that you're erasing their soul from existence?
Yeah.
But that's canonically not true.
Oh, because they go to heaven?
Because we see them in other places. We've seen Ash in heaven.
Oh, interesting.
We've seen John in hell.
Huh.
There's a piece of it that doesn't work.
Unless
it's just like to be mortal. Or like, but you know what I mean? Like, to
or
be
if you go to heaven, that keeps you from the whole...
And it's being on the mortal plane leaves you like, there's probably a way around it, but there is a piece of it that's like, this is a little...
dicey,
inconsistent.
Yeah. So Dean considers burning the bones anyways, but Sam intervenes. Crowley tells them to get bent and leaves with his bones, which is a funny thing. It's like, I'm taking my toys and going home.
Yeah, and then Sam's like, a deal's a deal, and he's like, I don't need you to fight my battles for me, Moose.
So good. As we then cut to Dean and Sam driving back.
Driving to an airport or
because
somewhere because they're in Scotland.
Yes. So when they are driving and talking to Bobby on the phone, Dean is steering on the right side of the car.
Yeah.
That's because they're still in Scotland after digging up Crowley's bones. In the UK and most of its territories, they drive on the left side of the road, and steering column is on the right side of the car, directly opposite to the US and Canada. The car
and the rest of the world,
yes.
Like mainland Europe, drives the way we do.
The car they were driving was an Austin Metro. It's about the size of an original Mini.
Yeah,
which was just fun.
That's cute. Yeah.
So, as they're talking on the phone, he apologizes to the boys and admits that he was right. He probably they admit that he was right.
Yeah.
Bobby cuts off before things get too sentimental and tries.
Yeah, he's, stop the chick flick.
Yes, and
we almost had a breakthrough. Better end now.
Yes. He tries to go eat his peach cobbler.
Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's cut off.
I do like that throughout the episode, we always see him, like, he's always taking it out. He's about to cut into it, and the phone always fucking rings, or something always happens. It's very
constantly edging him with that pie.
Oh.
The phone rings, and Bobby goes back to work.
Yeah. Yeah, he still doesn't get to have the...
Holy shit, what an episode.
Great episode.
But
before we do our kind of final thoughts...
Oh my God, why do you keep doing this at the end?
Because we have to talk about the episode in order to anoint...
Stupid bit.
I swear, man, you gotta update your cassette tape collection.
Why?
Well, for one, they're cassette tapes. And two, Black Sabbath, Motorhead, Metallica. It's the greatest hits of mullet rock.
Well, house rules, Sammy. Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole.
Sounds so young.
That's right.
Was that?
It's the Fuck You Samuel Campbell Memorial Who Was the Biggest Asshole This Episode segment.
Is that a song or was that him singing?
That was him singing, I think. A deeply unsettling drop from our friend Yo Crow. Who was the biggest asshole this episode?
I mean, it's Crowley.
Interesting.
I would say.
Interesting. I was going to say either the FBI agent or Gaslight Sam.
Oh,
because that particular line bugged me. Where like Bobby has this whole big thing, and then Sam's like, "You could just ask us."
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You've known about this for how long? I shouldn't have to ask.
Yeah, like, well, we were just waiting for you to decide you wanted your soul back. Is kind of shitty,
insane.
All right, so you say Crowley?
Yeah, I say Crowley.
I say it's a cum gutter Sam.
I mean, yeah. I guess Crowley is just being Crowley.
Yeah,
I think that
if anything, he's actually playing quite nice.
Yes,
all things considered.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That was the segment.
Cool. Worth the music.
Being a dick ain't so bad. See, there's three kinds of people: dicks, pussies, and assholes.
Oh no.
Pussies think everyone can get along, and dicks just want to fuck all the time without thinking it through. But then you got your assholes, Chuck. And all the assholes want us to shit all over everything. So pussies may get mad at dicks once in a while because pussies get fucked by dicks. But dicks also fuck assholes, Chuck. And if they didn't fuck the assholes, you know what you'd get? You'd get your dick and your pussy all covered in shit.
Is that the speech from?
See what he knows.
You happy you played that?
Not really.
No. Don't love that clip.
Oh, Team America.
Yep. So, that was the fuck you Samuel Campbell Memorial.
Who was the biggest asshole this episode segment?
Yeah, I'm glad that we did that.
Yeah.
What a great thing that was made.
Yeah.
Tell us about your review.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, cool.
No, let me.
No, let me, please.
Oh, God. I love this episode. I mean, I love, like, obviously there's a practical kind of help to it that Jensen and Jared aren't in it as much, and that's because Jensen's directing or whatever.
Yes.
But I love how they play their involvement. Like,
so
like
good.
that sequence where it's like you see Sam like fighting in the background
so
is
good.
Really, really funny. I love the kind of like that interplay of like, what do we do now? And how they do that. I like that they sort of bomb in. I like that we get to see Bobby's day and that some of it is like light, misdemeanors. And some of it is like full felonies. And he's just like, and he's just exhausted and everybody's depending on him all the time. He can't just fucking rest. And he is the one that needs his soul back and nobody's asking him for help.
Yep.
You know, it's, Rufus is helping, but like in the way that Rufus helps, where it's actually like more trouble.
Yes.
Rufus is great in this fucking episode.
So fucking
Crowley's amazing in this episode. Bobby's great. There's some great effects. The burning demon, the ring thing in the summoning, the wood chipper stuff. The Okami fight's good. I like the neighbor. She's really, really sweet. I think she plays that all very well.
Yeah.
It's like a fun, even though like there's an emotional core to it, it's a very fun episode.
So fun.
It's got a great energy, and it does also kind of feel like it's been a while since we've had an episode like that. Yeah. I think that was the thing that let me down with the 2.5 Men episode. Is like it had the potential to be these two guys and a baby.
Yes.
But then it becomes this other like thing like the alphas and the whatever bullshit they're working on. But this episode just kind of sits in its premise and does a good job of it. Yeah, I mean, this is a great episode. I'd give this like 5 muckable cobblers.
Yeah. 5 out of a possible 5 mucked up cobblers.
Not mucked up, muckable. As in, like, I'd muck some barn for that cobbler.
Yeah, no, I know. Jesus Christ. So, you proud of that? It's a phrase I had never heard until I met you.
It's a very Ontario phrase. But my area of Ontario,
yes,
where all the farm boys are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ. So,
wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
All right. I do know that one. I fucking loved this episode. I forgot about this episode.
Yeah.
And how fun it was.
It's great.
I remembered like clips of it, but I didn't remember the entire thing. I think that, it's just like, It's paced so well. It's well edited, well directed. Clearly, great showing for Jensen's first directorial debut. I think. I think that everybody's like in line with their characters. We get like a different side of Rufus, but still feels in line with him.
Yeah, totally.
It's
the thing that I like. That some people are upset about like. If you're watching Marvel stuff about like Daredevil, people are like, Daredevil's serious, but then like Daredevil is in She-Hulk and he's like very fun.
Yeah.
But to me, they work. They're just two sides of the same thing. It just depends like what lens are you going to watch this thing through. And I think Rufus gets that treatment in this episode.
Love a good smashing of Matt Murdock.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I think that, this very well plays as like giving Bobby his own episode absolutely works. Like, I could watch him like he's in his own show. Like, it's so fun. I would watch this as a spinoff show. Like, it's so fun.
It's funny, too, to see him who's like relatively like sarcastic and quippy up against Crowley, who's also kind of like their like kind of tete-a-tete thing where he's like, but you don't have anything up to my taste. So you're like, well, I got gut rot. He's like, I prefer Craig.
So good. Yeah, the two of them play off each other really, really well, and I'm glad that this is not like the end of these two engaging with each other. Super, super fun. So I will give this of course, a 5 ashed up demons. Love it.
Yep, baby.
But before we wrap up this episode, we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
Ooh.
That's right. From Alec, who says, "What's up, Ghostfacers? I knew instantly that I struck gold when I found your podcast. However, your thirst for Dean, while valid,
careful,
has caused some trepidation when I recommend you to my friends."
Embrace it.
Good Lord, were you guys filthy in the first season?
I mean, you mentioned this last week.
Yeah.
And that's not how I remember. Which is funny to me.
Yeah. Maybe you've mellowed out, or maybe Juicebox raised the bar to the point where your normal is my new baseline. Which I think is very, very plausible. Anyways, I wanted to say how much I love you guys. I appreciate the level of depth you bring to the background info from commentary / filming and the deep dives into lore, the cultural implications of the show aging, and the absolute strides you go to get the sandwich segment. Insert Reed's infectious laugh.
It's so natural, though. It's such an easy fit.
I also wanted to tell you, last Sunday, my brother and I went to Supernatural Con.
Nice.
He and I got into the show 10 years ago when we randomly stumbled upon it on Netflix. We were intrigued about two brothers from Lawrence, Kansas, who fight monsters and fell in love immediately. We live in Kansas, about 20 minutes away from Lawrence.
Whoa.
And spent a lot of time there growing up. He and I were stoked that the con was also coming to town, seeing that the show had ended 2 years ago. This was my first ever con, and I can't believe I was in the same room as Jared and Jensen.
Oh, that's fun.
We also got to see Ruthie Connell,
nice.
who we'll eventually meet.
Yep.
Misha Collins, Castiel, obviously, Mark Pellegrino, Lucifer, Jake Abel, Adam, Rob Benedict, Chuck, and Baby.
Nice.
So good. One of the coolest things about the con was when the former mayor of Lawrence came and officially recognized Lawrence, Kansas as Sam and Dean Winchester's hometown.
Oh, they should put that on the fucking sign.
So fucking good.
I love that, yeah.
As well as getting...
It should be like going to, like, what is it, like Riverside, Iowa, and it's like future home of Captain James T. Kirk. Like, they should put that, like, yeah.
As well as getting them personalized Kansas license plates and some other Kansas goodies.
Oh, that's tight. Yeah, I like that.
Anyways, I wanted to let you guys know about this incredibly fun thing a lot of Kansans got to experience. Can you believe this was the first time Jared and Jensen ever came to Kansas?
Really? Also, people from Kansas are called Kansans?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
I mean, I guess that makes as much sense as anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Keep up the show. It never fails to make me laugh, and re-listening to your old episodes always brings me joy while anxiously waiting for you to drop a new episode. R.I.P. Mr. Yamashiro's Mural Shop, and carry on. Alec, Project Architect.
Whoa. Whoa.
He actually sent this. I have more information, but he sent this from his work email, and he's like, an architect.
Oh, I love that.
I love that our fans are so much more professional than we are.
Well, yeah, they should be. Like, they can't be less.
So good.
That's awesome. That's a very, very cool note. Thank you, Alec.
That's so fucking rad. All right, well, that is the end of this episode. You can continue this discussion about this episode as well as Supernatural in general, or just your life on our online forum.
Nice. Yeah, go to patreon.com/ghostfacers. Smooth transition. And for only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio. It's our community Discord server. We're having a great time. We're chatting with people, we're getting to know each other. We're sharing horrifying stories of real life paranormal encounters
and uplifting life events.
But also horror.
Yes, horror.
And it helps to support us.
That's right. Also, if you want to send a note like Alec, you can send that to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
That's right. We're at GhostfacersPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And like at the beginning of this episode, whether that's Facebook that you're on or the feed that you get the podcast in every week, why don't you give us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast so it automatically gets in your feed. Also, if you send that review, we will read it on a future episode.
Yeah, baby.
Also, we don't have a memorial t-shirt design yet, but if you want to support this show and show the world your love, you can buy our merch on ghostfacerspodcaststore.com.
Yeah, but we are going to make a really not safe for work shirt with a monster called an Okami. Also, when you order it, the shirt will be wet.
Yeah. Why is this shirt wet? Oh, Okami.
Teespring could do that, right? Yeah. Can you ship this wet?
Yeah. Wet and yeah. Put back wet and well-rodden.
Jesus, well-ridden?
Yeah.
Well-rodden, good God.
Anyways, you've mentioned it already a couple times on this podcast, but we have another podcast that we have.
That's right, the Dr. DC podcast. If you like how we talk about monsters and supernatural and stuff like that over here,
we would slightly less well there.
You might enjoy how we phone it in over there, talking about the Justice League, DC Comics. We answer listener questions. You don't need to know anything. It's just us chatting about comic book stuff. That's fun.
That's right. That's the end of the episode. Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.